historic apartment building in Carthage, and Newton County, Missouri will soon get an upgrade to its internet broadband. KOIM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, a murder investigation crosses a state line after a Missouri woman says she killed her estranged husband. Plus, the appearance of bird flu in southwest Missouri takes its toll on a chicken farm in Newton County, and the agreement that will soon expand access to broadband internet in parts of southwest Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Aurora, Missouri are investigating a homicide that reaches into Arkansas. This is KOIM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Police say at around 1:45 this morning, this woman, Taylor Santiago, arrived at the Aurora Police and Fire Facility and said she had just murdered her estranged husband at her home. Officers took Santiago into custody and responded to her apartment. They found the man identified as Santiago's estranged husband dead inside. Santiago also disclosed that she had earlier driven to Arkansas and shot 2 other victims, one of whom was the biological father of one of her children. He's currently listed in serious condition. The other victim, a female, died. Santiago has been charged with first-degree murder in Missouri. She is currently in custody in the Lawrence County Jail. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a cold Thursday for us today, but better than what we have seen most of the week. 32 for a high, started at 18. 45's our average, and that is going to be closer to the number that we are going to get to as we get into the next couple days. It's 19 in Joplin, 18 in Pittsburgh, so it is cold. 15, Nevada 12, in Fort Scott 22, Nowata, Bella Vista is sitting at 20 degrees. The winds have calmed down a bit. That's good. They are going to get cranking once again tomorrow, but out of the south. And what that's going to do, yeah, it's going to be windy, but it's going to help our temperatures warm up a bit over the next couple days. So teens tonight, but during the afternoon, we're going to get into the mid-40s, which is pretty good. A lot of clouds rolling in over the weekend, but again, temperatures back up into the mid-40s for highs. So we're going to talk more about this warming trend all coming up here in a bit.
See you soon. Newton County, Missouri is dealing with its first ever documented outbreak of bird flu. Birds at 2 farms owned by Opal Foods were infected. Opal Foods produces eggs for brands like Eggland's Best and Land O'Lakes. They're in the process of euthanizing all 2.6 million birds at the farm. The euthanized birds and affected eggs will be transported to a landfill in Lamar, Missouri. Then the farm will be sanitized. Cleanup and sanitation will be overseen by the USDA. The administrator at the Newton County Health Department hopes to get back to normal soon.
Once this flu season passes, I'm hopeful that the bird flu also will slow down and the company can replace those birds and then get back to full production.
He says there's a possibility that egg and chicken prices increase as a result of the outbreak. Some residents of a Carthage apartment building find themselves without a home following a fire. Emergency crews responded to the fire at the Daisy Court Apartments just after 11:30 this morning. Responders found smoke from one section of the apartments as people were evacuating. A number of people were treated for smoke inhalation. Authorities took one person non-emergency to the hospital. The Homeless Coalition hosted a free event at the Joplin Salvation Army today, offering support to people experiencing homelessness. Organizers say the primary purpose is to get a more accurate account of the number of homeless in the area. KOIM's Lonnie Walton reports.
I was a meth addict, and I've been sober for 3.5 years now.
Jamie Bass was born and raised in Joplin. He says his meth addiction contributed to him being an unhoused individual for 15 years. He says he finally hit his breaking point.
The place that I was at before, they ended up showing up out of nowhere. And so I'm standing on this corner, and out of my mouth came, "I need your help."
Another person in need of help is Alex Coleman. She's from Loving Grace, a center Coleman says supports women in need. She has also had to face unfortunate circumstances.
I was actually living with a foster home before I moved, and the foster home wasn't the best place to be living at.
This is why Captain Bill Menendorf from the Salvation Army and Robert Smith from the Homeless Coalition put together this event to support people experiencing homelessness. They're doing it through resources and they're taking count.
26 plus agencies that are all under one roof in our gym here, set up to serve individuals that are homeless, individuals that are near homeless. Having events like this to hopefully help people get a step up to get into a place, it's priceless.
Surveying folks as they come in here to the Salvation Army and asking them where they slept last night.
All this is good for Coleman. She says he's on a hunt for a new job.
I had one job, but I lost it.
And for Bass, he already has a job as a peer support specialist. Although he's been in places similar to Coleman's, he says there's always hope.
You have to surrender. You have to surrender to the will of God.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Smith says the number of homeless people in Joplin increased by 50% from 2023 to 2024. Illnesses such as the flu, RSV, and COVID are causing a disturbance at one Oklahoma school district. Fairland School District has canceled school today and again tomorrow to help slow the spread of illness. The superintendent says close to 25% of students and staff have missed school due to sickness.
Coming from someone that was in a small school themselves, it can easily take over when there's not as many students, or so it seems that way. When you don't have, the 1,500, 2,000 students in the school, having that many out seems much more substantial.
The superintendent says the district has not decided whether the school will make up the missed school days at the end of the year. Newton County residents will soon have more access to broadband internet. The County Commission approved an agreement with Allo Communications to implement a broadband deployment plan. Using nearly $7 million in funding from the American Rescue Plan Act and an investment from Allo, it's going to create a backbone fiber line, they call it. This will allow for increased access to the internet across the most rural parts of the county.
I hope they get affordable internet to where they can have it for their kids and also for working at home. There's a lot of people working at home, so I think it's going to be a good deal for all of the citizens in these areas, and I think they'll be excited.
This initial project is expected to be completed by the end of 2026. Allo is also currently working on establishing a fiber network in Joplin. You can find a link to track what progress is being done in your community on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Gasoline prices are changing. We're going to take a look at the average in the 4 states coming up. Plus,
a legal blow to President Trump's executive order over birthright citizenship. I'm Natalie Brandt with the ruling and the message from the federal judge in the case.
the Justice Department says it's going to appeal a federal judge's ruling putting a temporary block on President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. That development comes as the president's pick to lead the Defense Department clears a key hurdle. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Okay, very good.
President Trump issued more executive orders Thursday as his new administration was dealt its first legal setback in court. On Thursday, a federal judge in Washington state temporarily blocked the president's plan to end birthright citizenship for children of undocumented migrants, calling the move blatantly unconstitutional.
Obviously, we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Democratic attorneys general from across the country challenged the executive order, saying it's in violation of the 14th Amendment.
No one individual, not even the President of the United States, can simply erase what it means to amend the Constitution and the process therein.
And as some 1,500 U.S. troops have begun to deploy to help secure the southern border, President Trump's controversial pick for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth narrowly cleared a procedural vote on Capitol Hill. The Senate voting 51-49 to advance his nomination.
Is this the best man we have to lead the greatest military in the world?
All Democrats opposed, along with 2 Republicans, Senators Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine.
No surprises there. It's too bad. It's just the way the way it is, too bad.
CBS News has confirmed Hegseth disclosed to senators during his vetting process that he paid $50,000 to the woman who accused him of sexual assault in 2017. He denies any wrongdoing. The former Fox News host is headed for a final vote in the Senate as early as Friday. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
President Trump also issued an executive order to declassify the JFK, RFK, and MLK assassination files, and another that would clarify regulations in the crypto industry. If you think gasoline prices have been rising in Missouri, well, you would be right. According to AAA, the average gas price in the Show Me State is $2.83 a gallon, a 4-cent increase in the last week and a 21-cent increase since this day last year. Fortunately, some of the lowest gas prices in the state are right here in our area. Jasper and McDonald counties are both at $2.78. Gas prices on average are lower for some neighboring states. Oklahoma's current average sits at $2.71. In Arkansas, it's $2.77. In Kansas, the average price is $2.81. A little bit later, it's tournament time for local high school basketball teams. John Dales has highlights from 4 tournaments coming up in sports.
Plus, our temperatures after a cold night tonight are going to start to warm up. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a cold one once again for us today. Temperatures right around freezing. It's nice to get to that freezing marker a little bit above after we started the week so cold with temperatures into the teens and 20s. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, temperatures right now. We're getting cold. It's 12 in Yates Center, Iola, 14 in Parsons, 22 in Veneta, Neosho at 20, Stockton is sitting at 15 degrees. But at least the winds have calmed down. It was pretty breezy actually earlier today, but they're going to be near calm through the night. But by morning, they'll start to pick up out of the south. We'll have gusts 25, 30, maybe 35 miles per hour. So it stinks it's going to be windy, but in return, it helps us warm up. They calm down a little bit Saturday and then pick up late Saturday on the north side of another cold front that is going to sink through as we get into Saturday evening. Few clouds sinking through, but not really doing anything. There were a couple flurries out there earlier. As of right now, we look pretty good at the entire 4-state area: Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. In fact, not much going on across the entire lower 48, and that's how it's going to stay as we go through the next couple days. Let me walk you through time. By morning, cold, 12 Monette, 17 in Grove, Chanute down to 14 degrees. We warm up quickly with those southerly winds. We get 35, 37, 38 degrees by noon. And I think most of us will top out around 43 or 44 degrees during the afternoon. Not as cold tomorrow night, which is nice. We'll only slide back right around 30 degrees, but notice some clouds start to increase. So this means mostly cloudy skies as we go into Saturday. But still, temperature is pretty good. I think most of us 46 to about 49 degrees across the region. Weak system, weak front slides through Saturday night. With that front, may get a few sprinkles, but in general, we just cool down a little bit more as we go into Sunday morning. All right, here you go on your Friday. 16 in the morning, 37 by noon. High temp, 44 degrees. Heading into the weekend, 46 Saturday, 40 on Sunday. Could get a few sprinkles Saturday night. But the weekend, just a lot of clouds, very typical for this time of the year. If you're heading north, Arrowhead Stadium or GEHA Field. If you're tailgating during the afternoon, it's going to be in the 30s. Game starts at 5:30. We sit into the upper 20s. It's going to be dry. It's not going to be windy. So overall, pretty good football weather for the last week of January. Temperatures mainly into the 40s on Monday. Tuesday into Wednesday, we're going to get into lower 50s. We're going to start to track some rain to our south. We should stay dry Wednesday. We have a slight chance. We may get a few showers in here on Thursday. Better chances are going to be on Friday as this system kind of kicks through. It's not going to be very strong, but it will give us chances for rain, maybe a little bit of snow late next week. All right, let's go 44 tomorrow, 46 Saturday, 40 on Sunday, 47 Monday, 54 Tuesday, Wednesday, and then cooling back down with those showers. Moving in late next week.
I'm liking the sound of the 50s.
Yeah, not too bad.
Thanks, Doug. It's time once again for KOIM's 4-state finest nominations, our Viewer Choice Awards. You nominate your favorite places in the 4 states, everything from restaurants to entertainment venues to fitness clubs, you name it. Top nominees then go to the voting round. The deadline to nominate is February 2nd. Head over to KOIMnewsnow.com/finest and let people know what you think is the best the 4 states has to offer. Still ahead, dozens of our local high school basketball teams play in tournaments across the 4 states. John Dales has all the highlights and scores up next in sports.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. Tournament week continues here in the 4 states. The Lancer Classic at Southeast High School is already into the semifinal round tonight, which pits Riverton against New Heights. It's a Kansas-Missouri crossover game. Semifinals of the Lancer Classic, Riverton faces New Heights Christian. Second quarter, Cougars already up by 9. Ben Schumacher fires away and drains the triple. That stretches the lead to 12. Other end of the floor, Tyler Ritz has the answer for Riverton. He responds back with a 3-pointer of his own. A little bit later, Rams lob it up to their big man, Tarek Richardson, who finishes off the alley-oop. But then New Heights starts to catch fire. Adam Stanton uses the hook shot to get it up and over the much taller defender, and he gets it to go. Then Broderick Burns uses his explosive first step to create space. Then he finds Stanton, who gets the friendly bounce and connects on a long 2. Right before halftime, Burns takes a step inside the 3-point line. His jump shot is pure. After trailing by 16 at halftime, Riverton makes it close, but New Heights wins 72-69. Cougars advance to the tournament championship. In that championship game, Cougars will face Parsons. The Vikings take care of Southeast 57-45 in tonight's other semifinal. They advanced to the title game. They played in it last year as well and finished as the tournament runner-up. Meanwhile, over in Frontenac, the 4-state Raider Classic tips off its first round this afternoon. This one features 16 teams, 8 boys and 8 girls, many of which are from right here in the 4 states. Colgan girls basketball, undefeated, ranked number 1 in Class 2A in Kansas. Lady Panthers faced Nevada in the quarterfinals. First points of the game belong to Colgan after Jacayla Davis hits a 3-pointer from the wing. Just a couple minutes later, it's Davis again on the fast break, taking it all the way herself, gets the bucket plus the foul. She scores the first 6 points of this game. Nevada needs some points, and this will help. The sophomore, Anna Swarns, nothing but net on a 3-pointer from the top of the key. Lady Tigers, though, really struggle to defend Davis. Here she is again using the left hand to finish the layup that time. She scores 14 in the first half alone. Then, final seconds before halftime, Lauren O'Brien puts up a runner, and it goes at the buzzer. Colgan handles Nevada 43-28 in the opening round of the Raider Classic. Lady Panthers go on to the semifinals tomorrow night. A little bit later on, Nevada boys basketball takes on Owensville in the opening round of the Frontenac tournament. We get started second half. Alex Ast breaks away in transition for the layup to start the half, and a few possessions later, Mason Majors lines up a 3-point shot and knocks it down from the corner. Nevada starts to create some separation. Here's the reason why. Kellen Braden left open, long 3, nothing but net. Owensville trying to get back into it, but really all Nevada in the second half. John Collins misses a layup here, but Jet Snyder there for a tough putback. A little bit later on, Nevada gives the ball back to its sharpshooter. Mason Majors drains another 3-pointer. Then off the fast break, Majors takes it himself for 2 points. Nevada goes on to the semifinal round of the winner's bracket tomorrow. Tigers earn a win 57-36. Now to the late window of the Frontenac tournament. St. Mary's Colgan boys take on Fairgrove Eagles. Early on in this one, Brock Riddell posts up inside. A lot of contact here. That basket's good, though, for 2 points. Next possession, Colgan goes right back to him, down low again, and he makes the bucket over a defender. Good start for the Panthers, but completely different game in the second half. Fairgrove hits a lot of threes in this one. Here's one of them. Sam Kennard drills the 3 ball, and Colgan has to call a timeout. We go ahead to the fourth quarter. Colgan finds some momentum here. Joe Lomschek hits a floater in transition. A few minutes later, Brady Bettiga spins his way through traffic and gets the layup to go down in the lane. But Fairgrove continues to use the three ball. Here's Brock Boatwright pulling the trigger and connecting on a long one. Fairgrove goes on to beat Colgan 64-36, the final score. Another tournament we were at earlier this week, didn't get there today. Over in Liberal, Galena boys basketball wins big there in the semifinals. They go on to the championship game.
All kinds of games going on.
All kinds of them.
We'll be right back.
Shelter.
Hey, who says you can't have a green thumb in the winter? The Joplin Public Library held this event this evening featuring Master Gardener Eric Osen. He showed how to create mini greenhouses out of milk jugs, a great way to start seeds for spring gardening.
Tonight we're going to send folks home with a dry mix and we're going to ask them to saturate it well. But the containers we're using have holes drilled so they can drain out and then there'll be enough moisture so these seeds can stay damp.
Attendees also enjoyed a fun craft activity with all the supplies provided. Nice activity if you're staying in on cold winter, and actually this weekend is not going to be terribly cold.
No, it's not going to be too bad. Overnight lows right around freezing, but we are going to go up to 44 tomorrow, 46 on Saturday, 40 on Sunday. Overall, looking pretty good. Some rain chances late next week.
Final sports notes.
We got a big weekend of sports here in the four states and beyond. Bless you, Doug. Oh.
I was holding that thing in.
Well, anyway, we have more high school basketball tomorrow. Saturday, we've got college basketball, Pitt State against Missouri Southern. And then we all know we got the AFC Championship on Sunday up in Kansas City.
Looking forward to that. You're already making excuses for a sick day, it sounds like.
Well, I stare at these lights. It's like looking at the sun. And there it goes.
Well, there you go. Looking at the sun. That's what meteorologists do. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show at 5 a.m. Be careful out there. Watch for sneezes, and let's make it a great tomorrow.